So for project number 2 in educational psychology, I'm going to be talking about student diversity and the effect of the family on student achievement. So generally we talk about socioeconomic status, and this comes up a lot in our text. Often what we find is when the student has low economic status, they are categorized as being at risk for failure in the classroom. Yet, we also know that this does not automatically doom children to failure, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So in our text, in chapter 4, we see school, family, and community partnerships can affect a student's potential achievement and success. So in addition to socioeconomic status, family background can also play a really important role in student achievement. Much research has shown that parents who involve themselves in their students' education have higher achieving students regardless of socioeconomic status. And that's part of the reason I chose this particular subject. I come from a very big family, and my dad was the only person who worked growing up, so we were very low in terms of socioeconomic status. We didn't have a lot of money to work with. But my parents were so super involved in our education. My dad was a member of the school board. My mom substituted and eventually ran an after-school program. And because of that, all of us kids in the family were very high-achieving students because we were expected to be, and our parents inserted themselves in this. So this is something I hold very dear. So in our text, it does describe ways that educators can reach out to parents and community members to help aid the students in success. Specifically, Epstein and colleagues in 2002 described 6 ways that schools might help parents to help their students succeed. And I'm going to go through these very quickly due to a shortness of time. First one is categorized as parenting. And this is just schools helping provide conditions in the home to support learning. So this can be guidance on child rearing skills, family support, and understanding child development. This is also a way that schools can get information about the families to help us on that end of things. So it's where we obtain information from families to better understand what environment the student is coming from and what expectations they face at home. Next is communication, which is so important. This creates an open line of communication with families about student progress. So not only are the schools communicating with families, and parents, the parents are able to communicate back. So we can really help the students in all the ways that they need by knowing what they need. Next is volunteering, and this is what I discussed in terms of my parents. They were always there helping out in whatever way that they could, and that was huge. This, creating opportunities for volunteering and getting parents involved in the school really, to me, creates a sense of investment in the school, investment in the kids' education, and that investment leads to increased success by the students because there's increased help and increased desire to make sure the student is successful. Okay, next is learning at home. And again, to me, this goes back to family investment in the child's future, okay? So instead of sending a kid off to school, you're actually getting parents involved so that they're thinking about it outside of just, did you do your homework, okay? So that's really generalized. But learning at home, this just encourages family involvement in home schoolwork. So this could include just helping with homework, or studying spelling words, something like that. That's a way that parents really can get involved, and it's a really helpful way for students to study. Also class projects, and I'm not saying the parents should be doing these projects, but get them involved in the project so they see what their students are doing and what their students are learning. Also, co-reading is fantastic, especially for younger kids. So reading with your student, letting your student read to you in response, all great things. Last is decision making. Again, accountability, getting parents involved in PTA meetings, committees, council, parent involvement groups. Make them invested in the child's education. So my conclusion and my understanding of all this is simply that it takes a village. We want to make schools, families, and the community a team in educating our youth. We want to create a sense of inclusion and accountability for all 3 parties. And through that, the student is going to benefit. We're going to get them the best chance of success they can have, regardless of what they have going on in terms of socioeconomic status at home and the struggles that may come with that. With that, thank you.